So as you guys can tell, the power here is back on in Dallas where I live. It was out for about 5 days, came back on Saturday night, and that was just a great night. Honestly, I got pretty used to living without power. Luckily, it hadn't gotten to like the high 90s here in Dallas, which it probably will shortly. And so even though at times it was a little stuffy in this place, it was still doable. And honestly, I got pretty used to it after a while and, just made it work with lots of those phone videos. But now here I am back in my normal setup with my mic and my camera. So we're back to how things typically go. And I want to discuss one of the moves that happened recently that officially hit the books for the Packers. And that is the Devondre Campbell. His official release happened because he was released back in March, designated as a post-June 1st release, just because when it comes to the salary cap, instead of having the full dead cap charge count against the Packers' 2024 cap, by doing the post-June 1st cut, it basically takes his cap hit from the dead cap hit and splits it up between 2024 and 2025. And because of that, the Packers save about $10.57 million against the 2024 salary cap. And so that's the move that officially hit the Packers' books. And so now if we look at the Packers and their salary cap situation, it's actually pretty good when you compare it to the rest of the NFL. The Packers now have the 7th most available cap space in the NFL at $30.38 million, which means they have a good amount of cap space to get Jordan Love's contract done, and it'll add some kind of, it'll increase Jordan Love's cap hit, which I think is close to $10 to $12 million for the 2024 season. And it's going to become higher when he gets his massive deal whenever that does take place, which we're still waiting around to see when that will happen. But with Devondre Campbell now gone in Green Bay, I think there are lots of reasons why the Packers decided to let him go, which I think was smart. He's getting older. He's 30 years old. His play slowly declined from how he was playing back in 2021. His all-pro season, he comes into Green Bay on a cheap 1-year, $2 million deal, has an all-pro year, plays in 16 games. Then the past 2 seasons, he's gotten more injured, missed more games. He played in 13 games in 2022, and then he played in 11 games this past season in 2023, and he was not the same player that he once was, or that he wasn't playing at the same level that he was back in 2021. And I also think that when you look at him becoming a little bit more vocal on Twitter in last December, let me read that tweet just to remind us of what he had to say, which caused some questions as to exactly who he was talking about. But he said this: not going out of my way anymore, and I'm not playing through injuries anymore, because when bleep goes wrong, they always... I just totally messed up this quote on my phone. There we go. They always use it against you. I'm treating everyone accordingly and giving them the same energy they're giving me. Focus on yourself and your mental 59. You owe it to yourself. And at that time when we talked about this tweet, it was hard to tell if he was talking about fans, the media, the coaches. But since he left, he aired lots of his problems with the Packers and what they were doing. And he was stating that the only reason he was good in 2021 on the Packers was because he didn't listen to what the coaches were telling him to do. And he said that in 2022 and 2023, he started to be a team player. And because of that, I guess because he was no longer doing his own thing, that's why his production declined. That's what he said in a ton of tweets back in, I think that was around in March when he was released by the Packers. He has since signed with the San Francisco 49ers. And so part of me was also wondering, of course, you look at his age, you look at his production, but I also was wondering today, thinking about this, that, with his willingness to sort of air his frustrations publicly, and again, we don't for sure know he was talking about the coaches, but clearly from his tweets after getting released, he did not like the way the Packers were using him. So I would not be shocked if that quote from December was talking about the coaches. And I wonder if that could potentially become a problem for the Packers. When you think about this new defense with Jeff Hafley, if you have a player willing to air frustrations, then they maybe didn't want to have that in the locker room potentially. I don't know. That's just one thought I was having earlier this morning, because he does seem to be pretty open about what he's feeling, and he clearly was not did not like how the Packers were using him. And I wonder if that was going on, while he was here. Was he sharing those thoughts with other players? And it seemed like there was frustrations among lots of Packers players during different times with Joe Barry's tenure, but the Packers, of course, move on from Devondre Campbell. And so now with that space, they do have more room to do a lot of different things. Now, of course, at this point in the offseason, most of the big name free agents, all of them are gone. And so if there are any moves the Packers will make of bringing in any new players, it'll probably be guys on cheaper kinds of deals. And also, Kenny Clark is going to be in the final year of his deal. And so I think we also possibly could see some kind of extension with Kenny Clark as well. And I think we should be seeing Jordan Love's extension soon. And so the Packers get $10 million more of cap space. But this does mean that in 2025, next season, Campbell's also going to have another dead cap hit that next year. So I think this year it's about $3.65 million cap hit this year, dead cap. And next year, it's going to be $7.97 million in 2025. And that's because Campbell still had 3 years left on his deal when the Packers decided to release him, because the Packers gave him that 5-year, $50 million deal the year after his really, really solid 2021 season. So I just wanted to share that news. It's nice to be back here filming with a camera and a mic. So thank you guys for watching as always. And if you want to see more Packers content, Packers news, make sure you subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys next time.